A very good afternoon. Like I said, it is a new day, a new month, the 1st of November 2021. My name is Patricia Lokoma Mpango. We apologize for that technical problem. Well, this is your lunchtime news, and we are here to bring you what's making headlines this afternoon. Now, starting off with the head of State House Anti-Corruption Unit, Kano Edith Nakalema, yesterday handed over 2 road equipment belonging to Hoima District Local Government to the Permanent Secretaries, Ministry of Works and Transport and Ministry of Local Government. The equipment that includes a grader, a vibro roller machine, had been confiscated by the unit after they were found on a private farm owned by an Indian investor in Kigomba Town Council, Kiriadongo District 2 months ago, with their number plates plucked off. This caused the arrest of the Hoima District Engineer Ibrahim Luswata, Vincent Irumba, the works supervisor, and Charles Tibagwa, a mechanic attached to Hoima District Local Government Chairperson Kadri Kirungi. The suspects, together with other top district officials, were alleged to have connived and hired out the road equipment to the Indian investors company known as Solar and Agri Business Company.
How are you, madam? Yes? Very nice. We are here because of what he caused. The equipment you don't like that, and he's a subject of God, so we don't want him to be part of our meeting. Please excuse yourself. Else if I our meeting now. You see how I'm putting on? I have been on duty, and when you look at His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda, in June 2017, we want us to remember that he distributed 1,151 pieces of road construction equipment. And these we are talking about excavators and road rollers, every district in Uganda. Colleague of hers, and I'm sorry to call him your colleague, it's the same topic, hired out the equipment that was supposed to be working on Hoima roads to a private person with their logo here. I want to thank our whistleblowers. Thank you for those of you, we don't want to expose who reported to us, what we called the helplines that the president put in place, and he called upon us and said there is there are government equipment in the private. I am here to warn, to send a strong warning to the district leaders who are mismanaging government equipment, that we are all mandated to ensure that there is no wastage of property by the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda. Every citizen has a duty. But those of you who are supposed to be in good custody, who are supposed to give proper custody of government property, we are going to put you in the hands of the long arm of the law.
Now, Minister for Kampala, Hajat Mensa Kabanda, has urged the youth to embrace advanced technology. The minister was witnessing a memorandum of understanding signed between Entebbe Municipal Council and the Paxful company aimed at sensitizing the public to embrace the use of crypto world.
It has been in existence, but in Uganda it might be new. So we still need to talk to people, to teach them and make them like the system. To me it's good because it's a transformation which is going to assist our youth in getting jobs and becoming wealth. And in technology is always the best way to go, because the government is growing. From this year to 2030, we expect more changes in Kampala and in Uganda as a whole. Like as we started in mobile money, We did not appreciate it, but right now we are appreciating. Because we used to fear how does money come on the phone and then you transfer it to another person. But right now you can get mobile money from America, from other countries outside Uganda.
It was a simple agreement between us, Paxful and Adenian Lab, to train, to create a space for technology that is growing with the young people. I think even with this, with the right training, with the right information and education, people will get there, they will get used to it. And it's a way of life. In many places now you can pay for almost all services with crypto. So why, as Entebbe, be left behind? It's time for us to learn, it's time for us to embrace and understand it.
So when we look at the cryptocurrency, we say, okay, it is a shared value between me and you, right? So you say you have $10 and we're able to verify in the network that you have $10. And at that point, if you give me $10, I accept the $10 from you, and I can basically use the $10 for services by people who also accept that same $10 because the network has a trust protocol. So ultimately, just like mobile money, when I transfer one cryptocurrency to you and you collect it, and the Mama Boga is happy to collect it for rice.
Uganda joined the world to celebrate World Cities Day yesterday. Our reporter Henry Okurut brings us Kampala city's history and how it evolved from the perceived 7 to 21 hills. Kampala Capital City Authority is made up of 5 divisions of Central, Kawempe, Makindye, Lubaga, Nakawa. Kampala was created in 1962 as a city in Buganda.
Where was its name derived from?
There's a lot of argument about that. They claim that this area was a hunting ground for the Kabaka of Buganda.
From one theory,
the Europeans came and said, oh, there's a lot of impala in the area you've given us. So the Baganda called it Impala, and eventually it became Kampala. Evolved from the animal, the impala, into Kampala.
To another.
That one time Kabaka was hunting, and then because it is a hill, and they said, the man said, Sabasaji, how do you feel? And he said, Akasozi Kampala Wara, meaning the hill is controlling me. That is the Baganda version of it, some of them.
Which one holds more water and sounds more convincingly authentic?
But I think the Impala one sounds a little bit much more, because the British could never pronounce certain thing correctly.
At one time, it became part of West Mengo. It would be renamed Kampala District in 1974, a status it ceased to be in 2005, when it was referred to as Kampala City Council.
So really, Kampala eventually, at independence, became the capital. The governor, of course, was about to leave. They knew within a year the governor would be gone. And the prime minister, they initially found accommodation for him, and eventually he went to Entebbe State House when the governor left.
Originally said to have been a town council comprising of, among others, Old Kampala, it is a city that was once a municipality. Such administrative setup was a brainchild of colonial masters who at the time were in charge of the country that later came to be known as Uganda.
The Europeans who were in the administration of then the colonial government stayed in Nakasero and Entebbe. The Indians, who were the main traders, stayed in Old Kampala. And a little bit of around Kamocha area. You know the Kamocha area? Near Mulago there, coming down, that area, you had a lot of Asians in there. And then you take Bukoto Street, you know that Bukoto Street, and the other one is Kanjucha Street. Those were also strictly Asian.
It is a situation that is said to have been brought about by the religious wars following the entry of European and Arab explorers. The intervention of the then King of Buganda was aimed at addressing these religious misunderstandings, escalating the evolution of Kampala.
So what Kabaka Mwanga did, he gave the Anglican Namirembe, he gave the Catholics Rubaga, and he gave the Muslims Kiburi. And then the English-speaking Catholics were given in Zambia, the Mill Hill Fathers. A very interesting setting up. That virtually is the foundation. By then, the East African Trading Company with Captain Lugard had already been positioned at Old Kampala, and they had a fort there on top of Old Kampala.
This is how the idea of Kampala City on 7 hills came to be known.
To me, the real foundation of Kampala was Old Kampala, Nakasero, and eventually Kololo. That is what I would call Kampala municipality, which was the initial municipality of Kampala. Then the one up Namirembe and Rubaga would be, and Mengo. That one would be Mengo municipality. And Makere, of course, now you can see. Where do you live, Makere? You can see it's obviously part of the Kampala municipality.
But does everyone share this point of view? Captain Francis Babu, who was born and raised in Kampala, has lived to see Uganda's capital city grow.
What was Mengo municipality was consumed by something called Kampala City Council. And the whole of Mengo municipality, which had remained, took, these are the areas they took. They took Makindye, Kawempe, they called this area Nakawa, and that central Kampala Central Division is actually the former Kampala municipality.
Original 7 hills or less, or even more, Uganda's capital city is believed to have expanded with 21 hills. What explains this is the concept of making surrounding areas part of the capital city.
What you have today was brought about by trying to reach services to the people. And that's how they formed those. But of course, they did not do it correctly initially. It took a little bit of time to get the 5 divisions to become Kampala. There was a lot of exercise. How do we do this? It came gradually. And somebody was bright enough to say, look, New York has got 5 boroughs. Kampala can have 5. And that's how it came about.
Kampala City is said to have been originally planned for about 150,000 people, a figure that has since more than tripled due to population increase. Made up of 5 divisions and 9 constituencies, a lot needs to change to make it what is expected of a capital city.
There's nothing that cannot be done.
Henry Okurut, UBC.
Thank you very much there, Henry Okurut, for giving us that in-depth history of Kampala City. As universities and other institutions of higher learning are set to open, a tour of some of the university campuses and hostels discovered some students ready for the resumption of teaching ever since the routine was interrupted by COVID-19 mid this year. Let's hear more in this report.
Students at institutions of higher learning are set to resume lectures this Monday after a lull of close to 5 months due to COVID-19. University campuses and hostels were this Sunday busy as the students began to return ready for lectures this Monday. Reopening of these institutions follows President Museveni's recent partial lifting of the national lockdown due to COVID-19. The turn-up of students at the institutions and hostels is expected to maximize this Monday as lectures begin. Students had to present their identification cards before accessing the institution's premises to eliminate fraudsters and quacks.
Today I've reported back for further studies. I'm feeling good, but it has been a long time since we are we closed. And I hope that we may not get more inconveniences as it was initially.
Although you can still gain access to the campus, the difference is you're required to possess a national ID, a mask, of course.
To step up security vigilance, students with their luggage and vehicles were checked to avoid any terror incidents. Different entry points into the institutions were limited to only one main entrance to ease monitoring from security personnel.
Certain entry routes into the university that have been sealed off. Yeah, this has, I think, been a challenge to some people because the argument has been that if a person can be searched and thoroughly checked at the main gate and there are security personnel at these other entry routes, why shouldn't they do the same thing? Because they have the same powers as these other people. There's nothing special, no electronic device. So imagine you came from the side of the eastern gate or from as far as the rugby ground. You would be told to come back to the main gate. Some of these people are elderly, some are sickly.
The entry, there were some precautions as far as security concerned. And I hope it's good. However, it is somehow tiresome because we have got various entries, but to use one, it's somehow costly because I was supposed to use the other route.
Julius Martin Ngom, a law student at Makerere University, believes all will be well despite the short time left to complete his course.
The semester appears to be much shorter than the usual duration a semester is supposed to take. Because for people in, say, first, second year, according to their calendar, they're going to study for about 3 months, 3.5 months. These people started studying on the 1st of October. They'll study through November, and I'm sure for some of the days of December, then exams are scheduled for 5th of January, meaning they'll study for about 3.5 months.
I'm Ivan Juko, reporting for UBC News.
And with that very story, going to take a short break, but we will return with more. Stay with us.
Deposit money onto your Airtel Money account. Reactivate your Airtel Money account with a deposit of a minimum of 1,000 shillings and get 10 minutes free Airtel to Airtel calls valid for 24 hours. Offer is applicable for a one-time transaction. Terms and conditions apply. Airtel Money. Simple, secure, borderless.
Wano tutandise ne meja ejjudeko ebirungo ebya buli kakati njagala wekkaanyi kabaka yajja okuva ku saidi omukimumbaasa akutte mu jjolo bano be bayita bakakujje wabula kyonna kyagenda okukola mukama yamanyi kagenda mu kaseera kano yajja bambi n'asooka akwate bakuli n'ateekamu buli kimu kyonna ky'omanyi ekiyitibwa ebirungo njagala wekkaanyi kagano webityo bibadde ebyolwalero eruda nga bagamba ngenda kusaba olindirire ekijjulo makeke bakabulaza bonna mubayite ne kabaka n'asembera okagala mukama abankuumire.
Grow together with one of Uganda's largest companies. Apply for MTN Shares for as low as 100,000 Uganda shillings. And when you apply using MTN Mobile Money, you get 10 free extra shares for every 100 shares you apply for. Dial *165*65# or use the MyMTN app to apply now. The terms and conditions of the offer and other important information are set out in the prospectus. For assistance, visit any MTN service center or Stanbic Bank branch countrywide or a licensed broker.
Welcome to the home of our stars. Come on in. We have our movies, gossip, reality, conflict, tulina ne comedy. Basirebu baffe bonna live right here. Because no matter where you go, this is the home of our stars.
This year, as Power Magic Mix 3, we are delighted to invite you to see, experience and celebrate with us. Power Magic, the home of our stars. MultiChoice Uganda is regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission.
Everyone is talking about MTN Shares. I am Jenny Kafulua Shares, and I am here to show you how you can get them. First, you need a Securities Central Depository account, or SCD account in short, and you can open one right now using MTN Momo. It's free of charge. Just get your phone and your national ID, and let me show you how. Now, why do you need an SCD account? Well, because every time you get shares in any company, well, including MTN, your shares are going to be kept in this account. But this is not a bank account, and you don't need to go anywhere to open it. So is your phone and your national ID ready? Good. Let me show you how to open your SCD account. First, dial *165*65# or use my MTN app. Then select option 1 to submit SCD account application. Then enter your full national ID number or NIN. Next, select your preferred stockbroker and then choose option 1 to accept the terms and conditions. Lastly, enter your mobile money PIN and wait for confirmation, which you will receive on SMS. Oh, by the way, stockbrokers are the people authorized to help you buy or sell any listed company shares, so you need to choose one. That's it. Once you have your SCD account, you're ready to start applying for your MTN shares for as low as 100,000 shillings for 500 shares.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
If you look at all sectors, energy has an influence.
Now, how do we build a model that is sustainable? We're making good investments and we're growing the sector.
Our record under UEP had not been that very good.
World Bank Group has been involved in Uganda electricity sector since the mid-2000s, where it has supported the government in very bold reform.
The last 15 years, we focused on the parameters that were set in our concession that was negotiated at the time. It took the best minds of Uganda to work on it, and also the best minds internationally, because they had to plan for 20 years ahead.
As remember, we have innovated over the period. We've rolled out cashless. We introduced payment metering, Yaka. As I speak now, the 1.5 million customers are all on Yaka.
The transition has been very, very good, because Ugandans who enjoy the power went out and bought shares.
Umeme's massive investment, a robust and functional distribution network that will impact the lives of Uganda's over 40 million citizens.
Welcome back from that short break. It's time for us to look at what's happening in business. Now, the Minister of Finance and Economic Development, Mtn Shares, has officiated the World Saving Culture Day 2021 in Kampala. As Kashaija appealed to all Ugandans, he said they should adopt a savings culture if the country is to stop frequent borrowing from developed countries. Let's hear more in this report.
The Minister of Finance and Economic Planning, Mtn Shares, wants the public to embrace a saving culture. He wants all salaried persons to save at least 10% of their earnings with banks so that the country's debit burden can be reduced.
It's about 10% in earnings they get, because my office has made a calculation. My appetite to go and go outside the country would die because I'm insufficient. Have you heard that? If everybody, every Ugandan who earns the money, whatever, those who are earning in millions, those who are earning in tens of millions, thousands, and even those who are maybe earning even 20,000 shillings, if you send 10% of that money, there will be sufficient resources in this country for the Minister of Finance to come and borrow and move your development.
On the issues of evading taxes, the minister says it is the Ugandans who benefit from these taxes, and that is the reason they should pay the taxes.
That's why I was saying the other day that the business people who try to dodge not to pay their taxes, they are cheating themselves. Because when you pay your taxes, please join me in this crusade to convince that paying tax is noble, first of all, but not only is it noble, is that you are investing in yourself. Why am I saying this? That tax comes to the treasury, then the treasury goes to the audit. If you don't pay tax and there are no roads, how are you going to run your business? You fall sick, there is no hospital. What I do. Your children are not going to go to what I talk about.
The Governor Bank of Uganda, who was represented by the Director Bank of Uganda, Makei Aom, asked financial institutions to create continuous awareness to the public about the importance of saving, especially to the country.
We therefore challenge financial institutions to take advantage of this savings season to create awareness on the importance of savings and highlight the various options and products that the public can access from the financial institutions. The public open accounts with supervised financial institutions and make use of electronic wallets. We know that mobile money is fully regulated as a law and implementing regulations. And there are safer digital channels now, which are overseen by the central bank. So
And in Ethiopia, United States Secretary of State Antony Blinken says that the U.S. is alarmed by reports that the Tigrayan rebel forces have taken over two key Ethiopian towns of Daisy and Kombolcha. In a statement on Twitter, urging all parties to stop military operations, Blinken said that the continued fighting will prolong the dire humanitarian crisis in northern Ethiopia. Well, that does bring us to the end of our bulletin this very afternoon. Thank you so much for being a part of us. Once again, my name is Patricia Lukoma Mpango. It has been a great afternoon.
Gather themselves up, the captain Nerados Nyabong Vien